All right, we're going to try this again. This here part two. Look, man, I'm excited to bring this information to you guys this evening. The screen went black again. Actually, I don't need that screen anyway. Let me see. Is it still going to play? Because I'm just going to go right here. I don't know what YouTube is doing. I don't know what's going on with the internet today. But look, anytime I get information that comes across, my direction as far as the global economy, and especially when it correlates to the magnitude of what Karatbars is doing and kind of solidifies that we're in the right place ahead of time and we're providing the solution that the world needs with a technology that we can trust and an asset that has guaranteed value, I get very excited. And I actually have to do this impromptu video. Okay, it looks like it's going. Okay, so I actually have to do this impromptu video, but I'm looking at information and I say, man, I have to go live. I have to share this, and I have to be able to put this together for the people the best way that I can from the way I'm perceiving information. So look, if you don't know by now, man, Karatbars International is literally getting ready to do some amazing things, transform this whole world with this payment system in gold on the blockchain. And I'm gonna get more into it. Let me just kind of build up. But what I want to, the reason I have Wikipedia open here, and I have James Rickards. I call him Jim Rickards. And I'm actually gonna play, it's about 5 minutes, but once you get an idea of who he is and then you hear what he has to say, then I'm gonna kind of come full circle what Karatbars has in place. And I'm also gonna touch on some recent events, and I'll go ahead and show that real quick before I read the bio of Jim Rickards. Trump has just announced within the last few hours or so that they're going to increase the trade tariffs on China by 25%. And that's very significant because for the past few months, the market has been climbing, not only on companies buying back their stocks, and the Federal Reserve and certain banks kind of propping up the market, but it's been based upon the lies apparently that we've been fed that the global China and US trade deals were going good, that we were going to get some kind of deal and things were looking great. And obviously they're not, with Trump now coming out saying that by Friday they will be increasing the trade tariffs by 25%. These ramifications have, obviously great ripple effects in the economy. So it'll be very interesting to see how the markets respond, this week as well. But let me come full circle, and I'll try to come back into that, because the whole thing is that when I do these videos, I want to bring a little bit of financial education, a little bit of awareness of where the system is, or financial literacy, but I also want to be able to tie it into where the solution is, because it's one thing to know about the problem, and we could talk about the problem all day: derivatives, global debt, student loan debt, public debt, national debt. I mean, we know there's a problem, so we can talk about that, but now it's like, well, where's the solution? Where's that place where, I'm safe and I can secure my financial future and also prosper? And that's what Karatbars is. And that's what I try to bring full circle in with these videos and try to provide some content. So in this next video that I'm gonna show is about 5 minutes long with James Rickards, but please listen to what he's saying in detail. But here's a little biography on James Rickards. I'm just gonna read this little part right here. But Rickards graduated from Lower Cape May Regional High School in Jersey in 69. He graduated from Johns Hopkins University in 73, has a BA in honors in 1974. He's studied international studies in DC and has an MA international economics. He received his Juris Doctorate from the University of Pennsylvania Law School. And so obviously this guy's, well accredited, a lot of information in the background. He was a general counsel for the hedge fund Long-Term Capital Management. Okay, some people might be aware of that firm and its history, and I'm not going to go into that. You could do your research. But Rickards also worked on Wall Street for 35 years. Rickards was a senior management director for market intelligence at Omnis, which is a consulting firm. And on 24th of 2019, Rickards presented his view at the symposium Johns Hopkins that the US dollar was facing imminent hyperinflation. It was vulnerable to attack from foreign governments through the accumulation of gold in the establishment of a new global currency. Now, I'm glad that Wikipedia decided to put that fact in there, obviously, because Karatbars plays into that. But also, one interesting thing about James Rickards is that on September 10th of 2009, Rickards testified before the U.S. House Science Subcommittee on Oversight about the risk of financial modeling in the 2008 financial crisis. So he's somebody that's very influential when it comes to monetary policy in the financial world. And so I want to play a video that he had an interview with on his YouTube channel, Warning Economic. And obviously, you see, I get a lot of information that comes across my YouTube, and I listen. But I listened to him in this particular interview, and I want to play the first like 5 minutes of it, and I want you to just like hear what he's saying, and then you'll realize the opportunity that we have with Karatbars. And it's like I said before, everybody is talking about what Karatbars is and what we have and what we're doing, and they don't know we exist. It's like they might as well be advertising our company, advertising Karatbars, and without saying the name. And it just so happens that we, who are looking at this information, who are in Karatbars, knows that we have the solution and know, you know, what this is. And it's just, so it's a great interview. I want to touch on it. Let me just go ahead and press play.
So, Jim, I want to hop into the thing that I personally enjoy talking to you the most about, and that's just central banking in general. Because each time you come on the show, you just always have such a wealth of information to kind of give people a little bit of foresight as to what they can expect in the coming quarter and the coming 6 months. So what I would ask you is, what are you hearing? What's the story you're hearing today specifically with respect to quantitative tightening, with respect to the federal funds rate, things like that? What's the word on the street?
It's topic number one, whether you like the Fed or don't like the Fed. The fact is they sort of run the world. It's, you know, people know the basic statistics on the dollar. It's about, round numbers, it's about 60% of global reserves. It's about 80% of global payments. It's about 100% of the oil market, not quite, but close to 100%. So you just look at those numbers and you go, wow, the dollar dominates. It gives the U.S. a huge political weapon, a huge, actually, a military weapon, because a lot of the payment system has been weaponized. This is how we impose sanctions. You know, you hear about sanctions all the time. Well, how do we actually do sanctions? Well, one of the ways we do it is we kick you out of the payment system, we freeze your accounts, seize your assets, we do secondary boycotts. So if you're a Swiss bank or a French bank and you do business with someone who's the target of our sanctions, could be, you know, Russia, North Korea, Venezuela, a lot of other countries, we'll kick you out of the payment system. So if you're a UBS or a Credit Suisse or a Deutsche Bank, you don't dare go near any of our adversaries who are being sanctioned, even if you're not doing sanctions yourself, because you'll end up on the wrong side of that. So it's a very powerful weapon. But even what I just described does not capture the full extent of dollar power, because there's so much that goes on behind the scenes. And actually, the Bank of England just had a new report on this. This gets into the world of currency swaps. And a currency swap is simple, but unbelievably important. It gives the U.S. even more leverage than most people realize. For example, just go back to the 2008 financial crisis. What was at the heart of the crisis? I mean, it started with mortgages, but that wasn't really why it got so bad. It was the contagion effect. It spread to government securities, junk bonds, corporate stock, international payment. It just spread in every direction. But one of the biggest problems was the European banks made more money lending dollars than they did lending, you know, euros or Swiss francs or any other currency. Well, if you're a European bank and you're going to lend dollars, you have to finance the dollars. You need dollar liabilities to go along with those dollar assets. And one of the things they did was issue commercial paper. They had deposits, but they issued commercial paper, and there was huge appetite that in the U.S. money market funds, which bought U.S. dollar-denominated commercial paper from European banks. Well, when Lehman Brothers failed, a couple of money market funds failed right around the same time. All the money market fund operators refused to roll over that European bank commercial paper. They said, hey, Deutsche Bank, we're not going to take any more of your paper, or UniCredit or UBS or any of the others. So when any commercial bank is in that situation, they turn to their central bank. The central bank's the lender of last resort. But the problem was the ECB doesn't print dollars, they print euros. these banks needed dollars. The Fed prints dollars, but they weren't the principal regulators. So what did they do? The Fed printed up $5 trillion, and the ECB printed up 5 trillion euros or equivalent, and they swapped. So the euros, all of a sudden the Fed has all these euros, the ECB got the dollars. At that point, the ECB was able to lend dollars to the European banks to bail out the European banking system. So not only did the Fed bail out Wall Street and indirectly bail out General Motors and Chrysler and a lot of General Electric and the entire stock market and all the U.S. institutions, they bailed out the European banking system through these swaps. Since then, these swap arrangements have proliferated. The U.S. has about 20 or so partners among major central banks, including obviously ECB, Bank of Japan, but many others, Central Bank of South Korea, and kind of our allies and friends throughout the world. And China has put some of them in place. China has a swap arrangement with Switzerland regarding Swiss francs and Chinese yuan. But the point is, these foreign central banks are even more dependent on the Fed than people realize because of these swap arrangements, which are off the books, do not require any congressional approval, et cetera. So the dollar it's not king dollar anymore. It's more like an emperor. So having said that, my view has been for a long time that that system is more vulnerable than people realize, that whenever you're that powerful, you're always going to cause a reaction. So that's the action, king dollar. But the reaction, if you're Russia or you're China or you're, for that matter, North Korea or Iran or Turkey or any of these other countries, you're sitting there saying, well, okay, I get it. What can I do to work around the system? What can I do to create an alternative? How do I get out from under dollar hegemony? And they're very far down that road. Russia, China, they're building their own internet that's not connected to what we regard as the internet or the World Wide Web. They're stockpiling gold. We can talk some more about that. They're working on cryptocurrencies. Now, I'm not talking about Bitcoin. I'm not saying go out and buy Bitcoin. They're working on their own. So we call it a Putin coin or a Xi coin, whatever you like. They're getting close to rolling out a system that would work a little bit as follows. So, Iran could buy missile technology from North Korea. Russia could buy infrastructure from China. China could buy weapons from Russia. Iran could buy weapons from Russia. Russia's a big exporter of nuclear power plants. Turkey's a good intermediary, a big tourist destination. That's a big part of their economy. The big one would be China buying oil from Iran. So you have all these bilateral trade relations going on. All of a sudden, you don't price them in dollars because oil and some of these other things are priced in dollars. You don't price them in dollars. You price them in these new coins. They could have a stable value of, one Putin coin is worth one SDR. You don't have to use the US dollar as your anchor. And then you just keep score. So I ship stuff to you, you ship stuff back to me. One of us owes the other at the end of the day, periodically, monthly, quarterly, twice a year. You look at the scorecard and you settle up in physical gold. And you can actually move the gold around. Put it on a plane and fly. That's how you move gold. There's no wire transfer, nothing digital, nothing to hack. So all of a sudden, you've got this whole system. You've got an alternative currency that's backed by gold, but the gold would only have to move on a net basis. See, that's the key. It wouldn't have to move on a gross basis. On a net basis, you'd keep score with these coins. But on a net basis, you would just convert it to gold at some SDR rate and settle up. And what's important about that system is there are no dollars involved. You can't sanction it. You can't hack it. You can't shut it down. And the world moves on without the dollar. So is the dollar extremely powerful? Yes. Has it been weaponized to pursue foreign policy goals, military goals? Yes. But like any powerful weapon, it invites a response. And that's in the process of happening. So it'll be interesting times, in the years ahead to see this play out.
So when I look.
All right, look, I'm not going to play the whole interview. You can listen to it for yourself. Obviously, you can tell it's packed with powerful, revelations, I'll say, from James Rickards. I got this particular video. You can see it here from Morning Economic. And obviously, this was done on May 3rd of 2019. But the dollar hegemony in game is over. And if you heard what he said, this is why I'm getting into Trump today saying that they're going to increase tariffs on China. You see, the whole reason that the United States has this control is, like Jim said, it's because king dollar. Right? But there's going to be a reaction to the U.S. weaponizing the dollar and the ability for the world to conduct commerce and trade globally. And what's the reaction? The reaction, he said, was alternative forms of payment, cryptocurrencies, and then eventually settling in gold. I'm getting so excited, folks. So much stuff is rushing my head. I'm jumping out my skin right now. I'm getting chills. All right, because everything that Karatbars is doing, everything that I know, everything that we're seeing, everything that we're a part of is being not only reconfirmed from our belief and understanding of gold and blockchain, but by the global economy and its leading economists. They're telling us that the world is buying gold, making bilateral trade agreements, moving away from the dollar, looking at cryptocurrency, all right? And what is Karatbars doing? We're creating our own blockchain protocol, all right? The most safe, fastest, secure, dynamic blockchain protocol out there, all right? Now, hold on. I like to go to this diagram here, which shows our bank in the whole Karatcoin universe, the whole system. But actually, there's another video that I should play. But pretty much these governments, Russia, China, India, they'll put their gold up with our bank, right? And when they put it up with our bank under contract, they will have a country-specific. I gotta find. I should have had the video ready. I kind of had the diagram. I'm gonna find that video. But look, I get excited, folks, because Jim Rickards is one of those people that we listen to. Robert Kiyosaki, or is just certain people in the economy whose voice, has power. You can respect what they're saying. And Jim Rickards is saying that there is going to be an alternative form of payment. I'm going to say, okay, Europe. Matter of fact, what was it? Oh, where's that thing with RT? I forgot. That's the one I was looking for too. It'd be so much stuff come across me, guys, and I be wanting to share this stuff because I be connecting the dots. I'm telling you. But RT came out today and said that Europe will continue to do business with Iran, even though the United States has warned against it. And it goes into our phone, our blockchain smartphone, okay, for countries to be able to do business on an encrypted line and transactions that aren't seeable by, say, the United States. The euro, oh my goodness. Man, look. I try to contain myself on these videos. People tell me I need to be a little more professional. They tell me I shouldn't do the video. This is an impromptu video, but I think the value of the information is more important than the visual, because guess what? It's happening regardless. But look, Iran and Europe, the European Union are doing business, right? U.S. wants to stop that business being done, and they're doing that with sanctions. The U.S. has that ability because the world is using the SWIFT payment system, all right? The SWIFT payment system, so they're able to track and see. The Federal Reserve is able to track and see. So that's how the sanctions work. But when you understand the power of the blockchain, and they can't control the blockchain, they can't just say they can't do whatever they want anymore. All right, and so let me see if I can find this RT article real quick. RT Euro continues trade with Iran or something to that effect. They just came out with this, right? But I want you to, what is this? Euro to ditch US dollar in payment with oil. That was a 2018. Euro's new trade channel with Iran and bypass. Okay. I'm trying to show you the article. It just came out. But what it's saying is that the world wants to continue to do business and they don't want to use the dollar. They want to get around the SWIFT payment system. Jim Rickards was just acknowledging that in that previous video I said. And they said, well, how is it going to get done? He said, well, it's going to be do gold, another cryptocurrency. He said a Putin coin or a G coin or whatever have you, right? People are talking about what we're doing and don't know we exist. Karatbars International, all right? We already have a gold-backed cryptocurrency, all right? We already have, look at this guy. I ain't going to talk about these guys. We already have our own gold mines to back the value of the coin, all right? We got our own trading houses. We have our own digital stock exchange. We have our own secured communications device, all right? We have our own blockchain, we have our own cryptocurrency exchange. We have our own payment system in gold. Now, it's so sweet that when you hold these coins, you can go to a business and let them know that you want to buy their product or service, and you can set them up to be a K merchant and now say, look, you want to do business with me, you want this money, I'm going to give you these KBCs, I'm going to set you up as a merchant, and you're going to be able to take the KBCs, you can turn into gold, or you can turn into US dollars at any point in time that you want, instantaneously. If you want to get the value of those coins in fiat currency, in dollars or euros, you can do that. This is next level, folks. You got to grasp the magnitude of what Karatbars is putting in place. This is why you need to sign up now. This is why you need to join Karatbars. This is why you need to sign up for free, get your business package, get you some of these coins. These coins is the future of money. Everything in this ecosystem. The coins that come with these packages, KCB, benefits from everything. The gold mines, the bank, the phone, the exchange system, everything goes to this KCB because a portion of those profits are going towards the holders of those coins. The gold back coin, the value of gold. I haven't even, let me pull this. Did I get that article with RT? I got so much stuff. Where's the article with RT? Europe is about to infuriate Trump with the new trade channel to bypass Iran sanctions. All right, there's a title of that one. You guys can read that. It's actually just came out. What was it? This was January. But there's actually some new information that just came out because the sanctions on Iran are about to end up. And so technically the Eurozone is not supposed to do any trade with Iran. Euro saying we're going to do it regardless, right? All right. So now so you know, who ain't no telling how the US is going to respond. But the whole thing is that there's a problem and now we're the solution, right? I talked about the case. I'm a little bit all over the place because guys, you really just got to understand and grasp the magnitude of what I'm trying to show here and how it really affects the real world and in your daily life and where the world is going and how you can position yourself. It's all about positioning yourself. And when you position yourself properly with this company, you will find that you have time, location, and financial freedom, but you're not worried so much about the financial crisis that the world is getting ready to face as the dollar loses its world reserve status, as the dollar's hegemony and the SWIFT payment system are just bypassed. And it's happening right now. I want to go to something. Let me go to this real quick because now I want to talk about the gold coin, the KBC coin real quick and its value. You see as gold increases in value on the market, and I'm sure some people have seen this, and I hope it's clear for you guys. I'm going to try to zoom in here because I got one specific area that I'm going to focus on, which is the value of gold, all right? It says right here, dollar to gold ratio should be about $4,800 an ounce. An ounce of gold right now is about $1,200. The amount of money that's in circulation based upon the amount of gold that's out, this is where the actual price of gold should be. Gold is massively undervalued. And you might ask, well, why is it that it's showing $4,800 here for an ounce of gold when an ounce of gold is only about $1,300 or $1,200? It's because that the price that we're looking at for gold is the derivatives market. It's actually paper contracts. And what they're doing is the banks and central banks and different institutions, they are taking these paper contracts, pushing down the price of gold by selling these contracts, all right? And so this is not the real price of gold that we're looking at. The real price of gold should be about $5,000, $10,000 an ounce at minimum. And so when you hold a coin that's backed by gold, guess what happens to the value of that coin? Guess what happens to the whole company and the infrastructure? So that's for KBC alone. Same thing with silver. Silver is about $15 an ounce right now. And paper to silver ratio is about 194. And if you don't know this site, you can check it out, usdebtclock.org. I've done videos on this before on my YouTube channel, usdebtclock.org. But, you know, I just get real excited about that. The other thing is, what is this? Look at this. Breaking news, Dow futures dropped 400 points after Trump's tariff threat catches traders expecting a deal off guard. So guess what's going to happen Monday, folks? The market's going to close lower. There's going to be a big look. I don't know if you trade these markets, but you see they're already getting ahead of time. But the market's going to close. It's going to be down tomorrow. So expect the market to be down tomorrow, 100%, because the market has been lied to that the U.S.-China trade deals were going well. He said that we will come out with a deal. There's no deal in sight. Matter of fact, it got worse. North Korea, they just shot off another missile. They haven't done something in a while. But what did Trump tell you? Trump said, "Oh yeah, Kim Jong-un, we best friends now. Yeah. Everything is going swell." You know, that's a lie, folks. But they've been telling lies to keep the market up because they don't want you looking at gold. They don't want you looking at cryptocurrency. They want you to think the economy's doing good, and they want you into the stock market. They don't want you taking money out your 401k. They don't want you taking money out these banks. They don't want you to be aware that you need to start hedging. You need to start preparing for the worst. And I don't want to be on no doom and gloom, but these are the facts. Because guess what? A lot of people are going to be caught off guard, just like in 2008. The economy was doing well in 2008. The housing market was up. Nobody would bet against the housing market, except a few smart people bet against the housing market. And then what happened? Boom. And the Federal Reserve, Ben Bernanke, come out, oh, there's no signs of a recession or a market crash. There's no sign of a bubble. The economy's doing well. You won't find out until it's too late. And so if you're waiting to join Karatbars and you're waiting till you hear on the news, okay, let me go ahead and put my money in this, it might be too late by then. All right, it might be too late. So you need to put yourself in position now. So I just get really excited. Dollar hegemony, the US dollar is done. It's done. It's done. I can say that clearly and confidently because I know there's a solution that the world can get behind and trust, and it's called blockchain technology. And I know what Karatbars is doing with our own patented blockchain protocol called mainnet, okay? And so when I hear Joseph Haidt say our coin is going to be 1 coin a kilo worth of gold, and he's talking about the dollar value, all right? I can see how we can do that. And when he says our market cap will be at 200 billion, I see how we can do that because Jim Rickards, matter of fact, not Jim Rickards. Do I have the other video real quick? I did this video here. No, I didn't do it, but it was a video. He talks about, is a guy, the CEO of Bitcoin Cash. And I posted that on my Facebook page earlier, a couple of days ago. But he talks about how the value of Bitcoin or the next big cryptocurrency could be $1 million per coin. And he says that because the amount of money that has been printed, when it has to go to the real asset or the new money, that note, that debt, all that money has to go into the real asset. So it will go into our KBC. It will go into our gold-backed cryptocurrency. It will go into our payment system. So all this money, all these dollars that they've created, it will flood into our cryptocurrency, taking our coin to well over $40,000 a coin. All right, you have to understand. This time period in history is the largest wealth transfer in history that's ever going to take place. If you listen to Jim Rickards in this interview, he mentioned how the Federal Reserve is printing money and doing currency swaps with other central banks to shore up their economy without congressional approval and oversight. Well, hold on here. When they printing all this money, isn't that the United States money? And the more they print, it has an adverse effect on the dollars in circulation. Doesn't Congress have to get an approval for certain spending budgets and different? We printing money to save other economies while we got homeless veterans and people on the street out here who can't even afford to get some food to eat. So we're looking at this game and this matrix that they got in place. Oh man, folks, come on now. Jim Rickards, it's a fact, it's off the books. The Federal Reserve is printing money, giving it to other governments and countries and central banks without congressional approval. And you think that's not going to have a ramification on your own dollars and your own economy as this next financial crisis rolls out? So this is why I get so excited, folks. I mean, I used to get disgusted at this because I didn't know about a solution until I found Karatbars International. I didn't know what to do. I started saving in physical silver, but I couldn't get gold because, gold was priced out of the range for me at $1,200. Imagine when gold goes to $5,000, $10,000. This is the beauty of Karatbars, folks. You can save in gold for as little as $5 with a free savings account. No penalties, no fees, no monthly requirements. You can start saving in gold for as little as $5. Look at that. The Dow is already down 400 points. I don't want to reiterate, but I had to reiterate. This is live happening right now, folks. Let me look at my notes real quick, and I'm going to close this thing down. Sanctions out of the payment system. Right. So the thing I want to touch on with the blockchain, why the blockchain is so powerful. The SWIFT payment system is how things are done globally right now, right? With our blockchain mainnet will replace the SWIFT system. It's a system that they can trust, that's decentralized, it's open source, okay? 1.8 million transactions, very dynamic, all right? Nobody controls that. The United States can't say, the United States cannot say to Europe that they can't do business with Iran, all right? But now, so I haven't touched on war. I haven't even touched on war. I don't want to touch on war in this video. I'm not. But the Fed prints money and they give it to countries without congressional approval, all right? The Fed is bailing out all these governments and they're printing all this money. It's going to have great ramifications for us here in America. And so he talked about a reaction. The reaction is gold. The reaction is gold-backed cryptocurrency. And it just so happens that Karatbars International has the infrastructure, the institution, and the asset and company in place to facilitate what the world needs. And so I hope you guys can really grasp the importance of what I'm saying. It was an impromptu video, but I got excited because this is breaking news right here as far as Trump acknowledging that they're going to increase trade tariffs on China. You gotta really try to see what this is about. You gotta break it down, and then you gotta really try to see how it affects you and how you can hedge, how you can protect yourself, all right? Because we are coming up against another financial crisis. Things are not getting better, they're actually getting worse. As for us millennials, if you're a millennial like me, as they like to call us, you can't rely on Social Security. You can't rely on Medicaid. You can't rely on no FDIC. You got nobody to rely on as far as the security of your financial future. I need you to really understand that. If you're a millennial, you my age, I mean, it affects everybody. You know, I'm 31, but it affects everybody. You can't rely on the government. You can't rely on nobody. And if you think that you holding dollars or getting a lot of dollars is a solution to your financial security and prosperity, you have been miseducated. And I'm sorry to tell you that you will suffer if that is your strategy. You need to hedge. You need to diversify. You need to put your money into gold. You need to put your money into gold-backed cryptocurrency. Point blank period, you need to sign up with Karatbars International. Because we are facilitating the ability for you to protect your financial future and secure it in gold and gold-backed cryptocurrency with a guarantee. All right? I think I pretty much covered everything in my video today. One thing I will say, you know, is when the bond market really starts to reflect, then we'll know that it's really getting close to that time. Right now, we're just looking at a very big dip in the Dow Jones, and the ramifications of that, we'll see. But like I've done in my videos before, the Federal Reserve has come out and said that, look, we're not increasing interest rates this year. If they're not increasing interest rates, it's because the economy cannot afford to pay the interest, right? So the economy is not growing. The Federal Reserve said that we're going to miss GDP targets. Well, if we're not going to hit our gross domestic product, our GDP, our targets for the economies, okay, if we're not hitting that, that means the economy is not growing, all right? The economy is contracting, it's slowing down. That's why you hear Trump. You can Google it. Trump is asking for quantitative easing. Trump is asking for a 1% cut in interest rates. I know most people don't keep up with this stuff and don't understand it, but listen to what I'm saying. You need to just hedge. You need to sign up with Karatbars. You need to start saving in gold. All right? I can't express the importance enough. I try to bring some value and some substance here. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people see these videos and, you know, they just kind of think that maybe this guy is trying to sell me something. I don't know. But anyways, okay, I want to touch on the phone real quick. That's why the phone is next level, folks. Oh my goodness. I mean, the phone in itself, right? Blockchain, smartphone, satellite phone, all right? Encryption, security, privacy, encrypted payments, all right? I'm not going to go too much on this call because I'm getting ready to close this thing down. I done drove home the main points that I want. But I wanted to focus on the global economy is changing. We have a payment system in gold, all right? We got gold, we got cryptocurrency, we got merchant services, K-Merchant, allowing businesses to take gold and crypto or cryptocurrency and exchange it for fiat currency instantaneously. And then we're in communications, all right? We're taking over communications with our voice over blockchain protocol, which is going to allow, let's say, a European or oil company to buy oil from Iran, and nobody able to hack the call, know about the call, nobody able to trace the payment, you got to understand the ramifications of this. You got to think big. And now you're like, okay, that sounds good for them. This is good. How do you benefit? You benefit because we are the initial adopters and holders of this cryptocurrency, KBC and KCB, which is the payment system. It's the main coin. If you hold these coins, you might as well hold dollars, except you have a real value. Like the dollar is the world reserve currency, and the dollar is the main currency, and all the other currencies trade against the dollar. It's like the KBC, KCB is the main currency. It's the main cryptocurrency backed by gold, and all the other cryptocurrencies that come out of it will trade against it. And so you have the new world's money. You have the real secure safety and value. So that's why people are cashing out their 401ks. That's why people are selling their liabilities or assets they think is a house. Or this is why people are putting the money they have into Karatbars. And I didn't even get into masternodes. It's so much I didn't even get into. All right. But I just want to share that information because can't nobody argue that. They might say, oh, this is my perception and this and that. But you cannot argue right here. All right. You cannot argue Jim Rickards, and you cannot argue who he is, and do your research. But anyway, look, this is Crypto Rick. Shout out to the Karatbars Universe and the Wealth Builders. Get back to the person that shared this video with you. Let them know that you are ready to sign up with Karatbars and set up your free savings account. Start saving in gold at bare minimum. The same way you have a savings account at the bank and give you no interest. I had somebody today tell me that they were getting 2% interest, and they thought that their money was making money. They told me they had a savings account. I said, your money ain't making no money. He said, yeah, I'm getting 2%. I had them Google inflation, and they saw that current inflation actually is around 2%. I said, no, your money is not gaining any interest at all. It's actually losing value because the prices of goods and services are continuing to increase. But if you're not outpacing inflation, you're stagnant. You're moving sideways. And so I had to show that gold obviously appreciated at a greater rate of inflation. And gold is a financial security and safety net because it always has value. And so that's the beauty of the Karatbars free savings account. No penalties, no fees, no monthly requirements. At least start saving in gold, okay? So get back with me or get back with the person that shared this video with you. Let them know that you want to open up your savings account in gold for free, okay? And if you want to put yourself in position to build wealth and to hedge and find some security, and no matter which way the financial economy goes, you want to get a business package because those business packages are coming with our cryptocurrency. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this thing down. Catch y'all on the next stream, man. Ow to the Wealth Builders, Karatbars, Gold Gladiators. I'm out.